1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The Prime Minister says Pakistan is heading in the right direction as exports grew by 29% and remittances 9% during the previous month. The Information Minister has said the government is fully cognizant of the prevailing inflation in the country and measures are being taken to bring down prices of essential commodities. China has lauded the President's remarks about China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which not only served to promote socio-economic development of Pakistan, but also is aimed at enhancing regional connectivity. The Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Overseas Pakistanis says Pakistan will provide skilled workforce to Kuwait in multiple sectors. The National Command and Operations Centre has asked all the Provincial Chief Secretaries to ensure strict implementation of the standard operating procedures against COVID-19. Committee to Protect Journalists has condemned the authorities in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir for closing the Srinagar office of the Kashmir Times, a leading English daily in the disputed state. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan has said the country's current account remained in surplus of $73 million during the last month, bringing the surplus of the first quarter to $792 million compared to a deficit of $1,492 million during the same period last year. In a tweet today, he termed it great news for Pakistan as we are finally headed in the right direction. The Prime Minister also mentioned that the exports grew by 29% and the remittances grew by 9% over the previous month. The Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Senator Shibli Faraz, says the government is fully cognizant of the prevailing inflation in the country and all possible measures are being taken to bring down the prices of essential commodities. Addressing a news conference in Islamabad this afternoon, he said despite all hurdles, economic indicators are showing improvement due to prudent policies of the government. The Information Minister said exports are increasing, construction material is showing record sales. All the mills in Faistabad are running at full capacity while business activities are returning to normalcy. He said the opposition is busy in confrontation with state institutions and they want to create uncertainty and chaos in the country to deflect the attention from the corruption cases. The minister said it is imperative to take corruption cases to its logical conclusion to save the future of Pakistan's coming generations. The Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Senator Shibli Faraz, says the United Nations initiative to stop the spread of misinformation is praiseworthy. In a tweet, he said false information about COVID-19 may also negatively impact decision-making in the realm of healthcare. The Economic Coordination Committee of the Cabinet has approved two technical supplementary grants for the Ministry of Defence for 17 billion rupees during the current financial year. The advisor on finance, Dr. Abdul Hafiz Sheikh, chaired the meeting of the committee in Islamabad today. The committee also approved the request of the Ministry of Commerce for the inclusion of radiation apparatus in Annexure B1 of the Import Policy Order 2020. The ECC decided that supply of regasified liquefied natural gas to fertilizer plants, namely Agritech and Fatima Fertilizers, shall continue by the end of next month. The National Command and Operations Centre has asked all the provinces to ensure strict implementation of the standard operating procedures against COVID-19. A special session of the National Command and Operations Centre was held in Islamabad today, which was attended by all the provincial chief secretaries. The forum directed for initiating administrative action against violations of the standard operating procedures. It observed that there is clear resurgence of disease with increasing numbers of deaths. The forum directed for ensuring wearing of face masks and observing social distancing. The Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Overseas Pakistanis and Human Resource Development Zulfikar Abbas Bukhari has said Pakistan is fully committed to the development of Kuwait and would provide skilled workforce in multiple sectors aligned with its Vision 2035. Addressing the healthcare professionals in Islamabad today, who are scheduled to leave for Kuwait tomorrow, he said Kuwait has planned to hire the services of over 1,000 Pakistani healthcare professionals, including doctors, paramedics, and nurses. China has lauded President Dr. Arif Alvi's remarks about the China Pakistan Economic Corridor, which not only serve to promote socio-economic development of Pakistan, but also is aimed at enhancing regional connectivity and shared prosperity. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Zhao Liqian, during his regular briefing in Beijing, said since its launch, tangible outcomes in areas like energy, transportation, infrastructure, and ports have been achieved. Pakistan and Oman have signed a memorandum of understanding to boost bilateral military cooperation. The signing ceremony was held at the defense complex in Muscat. The memorandum of understanding aims at enhancing the existing cooperation and will surely contribute towards further strengthening Pakistan-Oman bilateral diplomatic relations in general and military cooperation in particular. This is Radio Pakistan. Pakistan has expressed its deep grief over reports of loss of Afghan lives and injuries to the people in a stampede 5 kilometers from its consulate in Jalalabad. In a statement, the Foreign Office said, "Our sympathies go out to all those affected by the tragic incident where applicants for Pakistani visas were being gathered under the arrangements of the provincial Afghan authorities." The statement said the government of Pakistan has recently announced a new visa policy to facilitate Afghan brothers and sisters in view of large numbers of visa applications. The Embassy of Pakistan in Kabul and the submissions in Jalalabad, Kandahar, Herat, and Mazar-e-Sharif are now issuing multiple entry visas to Afghan applicants intending to visit Pakistan for family, business, medical treatment, education, and other purposes. In Afghanistan, dozens of security personnel, including province's deputy police chief, were killed in a Taliban attack in Takhar province today. The provincial government spokesman Mohammad Jawad Hajari said the security forces had been on their way to an operation in Baharak district where they were attacked by the Taliban. He said several security personnel were also wounded in the attack. The Taliban militants were also killed in the fighting. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, journalist bodies have strongly denounced the sealing of the office of leading English daily The Kashmir Times by the authorities. The Delhi-run Estates Department sealed the office of Kashmir Times at the press enclave in the city on Monday without giving any reason for the action. Earlier, the authorities sealed the office of a local news gathering agency, Kashmir News Service, in Srinagar. The Kashmir Editors Guild, in a statement in Srinagar, said it sees the sealing as the continuation of an abnormality being enforced on Kashmir media for a long time, especially since 2010. New York-based media watchdog, the Committee to Protect Journalists, in a statement said, "We condemn the ongoing targeting and harassment of an eminent journalist, Anuradha Bhasin of Kashmir Times." Reporters Without Borders, in a statement in Paris, termed the action against the Kashmir Times as an attack on the press freedom in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. India has returned a Chinese soldier who went missing on China-India border area on Sunday. According to a statement of the People's Liberation Army of China, the move came after China's foreign ministry urged India to honor its commitment to return the soldier. Iran's air defense began a large-scale military exercise in different parts of the country today. The exercise is aimed at combating preparedness and to consolidate the air defense capabilities of the Iranian armed forces in simulated real war conditions. And finally, the weather. Mainly dry weather is likely to prevail over most parts of the country, while hot conditions are expected in the plain areas during the next 24 hours. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.